Sheffield, having a great time riveting with Finn Jones.
It's awesome. It's the best day of my life.
Yeah, I second that.
Hi there, welcome to the Sheffield Film and Comic Con 2015. Here you can see some weapons being sold. It's purely for Comic Con fun, and that's all.
they went down. There was
Assuming they get these to come. For the camera.
Thanks to Showmasters, I was one of the few people that could actually record Robert Englund's talk. It's exclusive, and I'm one of the few who have it. And here it is for you all to see.
When he was living in Miami, they looked like the Beatles in Hamburg. You know, there's a photo of Johnny drunk on beer late at night in the Letterman jacket he wore in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1, and he's picked up all of the prosthetic pieces that I've torn off because I'm trying to make last call at the pub around the corner. The cat will fit, trying to get to the cat will fit over my Bushnells, and Johnny picked up all the pieces and glued them on himself. And that Polaroid is literally in this coffee table book, Never Sleep Again. It's got some really cool images of Johnny back in the day. What I remember most was how polite he was. Everybody was sir and ma'am. We called everybody sir and ma'am. And I thought I had done good call him sir, making me feel so old. Jason mythology began almost immediately after the first film. You guys, I'm going to go back in time now. Go way back in time. Before your parents even. In the 1930s, kids sat on...
Apart from the Freddy films, you also did work on the science fiction program V. How did you find playing the character of Willie, and what sort of preparation did you make for that role? Because it's obviously quite a different role.
I worked at questions about how did I prepare for Willie on V. You know, how do you play an alien that can't speak the language? No, I had it very early on when I auditioned for the great Kenneth Johnson. For you older people, you know how great Kenny was in our youth. Bionic Man, Bionic Woman, V, the Hulk. But Kenny told me when I asked him, I said, guy's an alien, how do you see him? I don't know. What's your thinking? He said 2 words. He said, Gene Wilder. Well, I love Gene Wilder's work. I'm a big fan of the producers. Young Frankenstein is one of my favorite all-time comedies. So I kind of channeled a little bit of Gene Wilder's innocence. Gene Wilder did a great movie over here called Quacks of Fortune. Has a cousin living in the Bronx about an Irish guy that follows the horses around and picks up their poop and then resells the poop for the women that have the window boxes with the geraniums and the flowers, and they use it for fertilizer. With Margot Kidder, when she was very, very young, the beautiful leading lady of Superman that played Lois Lane. And I love that movie too, so I borrowed a little bit of the innocence that he had in that and the producers. That was sort of a kind of an actor's trick that we can sometimes do. And that was courtesy of Kenneth Johnson. So that's where I found Willie. Next
question. Captain America. There you go. Hi. Just wondered, other than Freddy, obviously, what's your favourite horror film?
Well, my favorite horror film continues to change, but I have a lot of stuff I recommend. Classics. One of them would be The Innocent, starring Deborah Carr. Shot in black and white, one of the best shot movies ever. But I finally saw it on a big screen, and the sound mix is so creepy. There's a shot of Deborah Carr on the rooftop of the old English great house, and the birds fly away as she comes onto the roof, the pigeons and the doves, and in their wing flaps you actually hear the whispers of the children that are driving her crazy as the nanny. So I love that film very much. And then there's a early 70s low-budget Brian De Palma film called Sisters, again starring this wonderful actress Margot Kidder, and she plays about Siamese twins, and the mad doctor in it, played by a brilliant actor, William Finley, who just passed last year. One of the best mad scientist performances you'll ever see in the movies. He falls in love with one of the two Siamese twins, and he has to do something to the other one in order to marry the one he loves. But it's a great film. Some of the best use of split screen ever done. It introduces several new movie stars that we all know, we've seen in a million movies, and it kind of holds up, way ahead of its time. So I always recommend that movie. I love The Bride of Frankenstein as a classic film. Like you guys heard me say earlier, I love Aliens. You know, that bitch fight at the end between Sigourney and the Queen. Boy, I love that. So those are you know, all percolating around and bubbling in my top 5.
Next question is a gentleman up the back. If you want to stand up so we can see it. There you go. Could you switch it off?
Is that working?
There you go.
There we go. Hello, Robert. Just a quick question. You've worked with so many fantastic actors. I'm just wondering if you ever had such a funny time on a filming set that you've struggled to carry on filming during that time.
Well, there's actors that are really, really funny. And there's a couple that I haven't worked with. You know, Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. In real life, Mark's like one of the funniest guys in the world. You know, and he's a little blue, but he's just funny. His observations of show business and life are very, very funny. And I think it would be really hard to do comedy with Mark. I've worked recently with a couple of people, and I've had to bite the inside of my cheeks, you know, to keep from laughing, because if they're allowed to improvise and they go off, they're just extraordinary. I did that show. You guys have Workaholics here, right? The MTV show Workaholics. I did a sort of portrait of Dorian Gray episode of Workaholics, and that young actor, he's the star of Pitch Perfect, the Pitch Perfect films with Rebel Wilson. That guy, Adam Devine. I could barely work with him. He's so funny. He's got a little bit of my pants, you know. He's so funny. And I've met Simon, and the same thing in real life. You know, he's just being real. He cracks you up. So. But I've also worked with serious people that are remarkable. The late, great Henry Fonda, arguably one of the top 3 to 5 greatest film actors in the history of the world. And I got to work with Henry, and he didn't really respect me until he realized I was from the theater. Even though he wanted me for the part and okayed me for the part. And that was a great lesson about that's what he wanted to talk about. I wanted to ask him about Jane Fonda, and I wanted to ask him about Mr. Roberts, and I wanted him to ask about The Grapes of Wrath and all these great movies that he'd done. But he wanted to talk about all of his stage work, because that's really where his heart was. So that was a big lesson in knowing that in the future, you know, that's one way to get into the heart and to create an intimacy when you're working with a really huge star, like I've worked with Henry or Hal Holbrook, the great Hal Holbrook, or Susan Sarandon, other actors like that. So you can kind of approach them from what they love or what they're interested in. Another question.
Hey, gentleman right up the back in the middle.
Hi Robert, huge fan, pleasure to be here. Obviously you're an icon as Freddy Kreuger, everybody knows your face, even without the makeup on. Other than Freddy Kreuger, what has been one of your favourite characters to play or favourite film to be? For me, it was 2001 Maniacs. Love that.
Well, that was written for me, 2001 Maniacs, and I sort of had to do it because I promised him, he was an assistant to one of the executives at New Line, and I sort of said, yeah, if you write it, I'll do it. And he wrote it, and I did it, and I didn't realize it was going to become the cult classic that it did. I'm most proud, I think, of my most recent job, which is the one that's out now, which is Last Showing. I channeled the great English actor Richard Attenborough in that. There's an old film from the 60s that I love. It's about a true crime that happened not too far from here, I don't believe. Richard Attenborough film called Seance on a Wet Afternoon. And it's about the banality of evil. The little quiet man that you don't notice that can do terrible, horrible things. And so I was really happy with the way Last Showing came out. But I have a great, great fight scene in one of my 70s movies called Stay Hungry, with Jeff Bridges and Sally Field, and Joanna Cassidy's in that movie from Blade Runner, Scatman Crothers from The Shining. And I shoot a five bank pool shot in that, which I'm real proud of. No digital, no CGI. And I have a great fight scene in it, and at the end of the fight scene, I get hit between the legs of the pool cue. And I think it's the second best nut shot after Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid's kick. So it's a great little fight scene though, I'm real proud of it. And it's a great pool sequence. Stay Hungry. And you get to see me when I had a full head of hair too.
Hello. I was just wondering what it was like working on a set of Supernatural with Jensen.
Well, you know, when I did Supernatural, I realized I'd been asked to do that. That was my producer from V. And my wife has a little crush on Jared from Gilmore Girls. I didn't get to work with Jared, or I would have had to confess that to him. But my goal is to do a show like this in Japan with the Supernatural boys, because they are rock gods in Japan. Absolute rock stars. And Supernatural is still being shot. It's a hit. It's a definite cult. It's not a cult classic. In the States, there's a whole channel. There's like one channel of Law and Order. There's one channel of Bones, and I've done a couple of Bones. And there's one channel of just Supernatural. That's what a big hit it is. And I would just love to be in Tokyo with those guys when they're over there doing an event like this and hang out with them. Because it would be like, being in the entourage, with, One Direction or something, It would just really be fun.
We have run out of time, sadly, but I do have one request. If you could please.
The last question?
Okay. I know what your favourite line is because I got you to sign it on an object of mine. Could you please do your favourite line from Freddy movies for
I don't know. I see so many kids here. Kids, put your hands on your ears. Welcome to prime time, bitches.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Englund.
Hi, my name's Amanda Wiss, and I'm here at the Sheffield Film and Comic-Con, and it's the end of the day. It's been a long, busy day, and it was so much fun, and I want to thank all the fans. Oh my gosh, I just was the recipient of so much love and affection, and what a great day. Super glad to be here. Thank you.
First time I was here I was reminded by one of the fans. I was here 40 years ago in a show called Godspell at the Crucible. That's going back a bit. That was a good day today, been fun. I don't know what Watto would say about it, except probably if you need a T14 hyperdrive, then you can always come to me. Something like that. So, yes. Thank you, Sheffield.
Michael J. Fox and Chris Rodder actually sat in this seat.
So were you the one chanting my name?
No, I'm the daughter.
Oh, okay. Oh, we just really introduced into something dark there, didn't we?
What was your favourite Teal'c storyline or episode to film?
I always liked, well, first of all, I liked any time that Tony was there. I loved working with Tony Amendola. And all the stuff when my son was there, I quite enjoyed all those whole storylines. But I just enjoyed it all. You know, it really was. It was our main goal was always just to be laughing, and that's something that we were very good at.
Yeah, there's a gentleman up the corner there, two in front of you.
Hi Chris.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking.
I noticed that in all the
you hold the mic a bit closer to your mouth.
In all the Teal'c lines that you had a hand in writing, you seem to end up hitting the girl. Is that something that you put in?
In the episodes I wrote?
Yeah, in the episodes you wrote.
What's that? Dragon Ball Z. Oh my god. She's an idiot.
That sounds father of 14 father of far-fetched
Brian Wheeler. I've had an absolutely fun day here. We've been busy, we've been fun, we've seen lots of people dressed up, and we've had a real good time. And we'll come back hopefully again soon. Cheers. Bye.